Hey, Jeff here, your YouTube reviewer of New England brews, and welcome back. So what do you think? Got a new camera. This is the Kodak PlayFull, which I got for a very reasonable amount of money. And it's shooting right now in a 1080 high definition. My previous camera, if you may have seen some of my more recent reviews, was starting to have some framing issues and it kept breaking down a lot. You didn't see that too much. I was starting to work with it to try to get some reviews done, but they weren't being recorded properly. And so I kind of had to do the best reviews I could with what I had. And this one has the 1080p wide high definition camera at 30 frames per second. There's also on this camera a 720 at 60 frames per second. Plus it's got a lot of other neat features I'm anxious to check out. So from now on I'm going to be using this camera to record my reviews, and I'm hoping that it's going to look really good. So without further ado, let me get right into the one I'm doing today from New Hampshire, and of course the White Birch Brewery. Those of you who watch me regularly know that I do a lot of these White Birch brews, and this one is their barrel-aged Cooper's Dilemma Ale. It's a Belgian-style ale aged in birchwood. And a few reviews ago I did their birchwood smoked stout, so they must have had plenty of birchwood around to age this beer in. This is from a bottle that was bottled in July of 2011, and this is batch number 1, and it has, this is bottle number 57 out of 101, and the alcohol by volume on this is 7.6% ABV. As you can see, it also has the wire and the cork top, so let me take a few minutes to take that all apart before we get right into it. We'll see how that goes. These wire and cork tops can sometimes take a few minutes to really bring out into the open here. Let's see. And we'll see how she goes. So, there's the wire piece. Now, this is always the tricky bit for me. Here goes the cork. Well, it didn't pop too much, did it? That's too bad. I kind of like it when it pops and goes flying across the room. But it didn't. So anyway, but it did give me a little bit of smokiness coming out of the top of the bottle, and I can smell some aroma already. So let's give it a pour right away and see what we have here. Okay, nice looking golden yellow pour. And unfortunately, and I'm hoping it doesn't cause too many problems with the beer, but as you noticed, I was having some cork issues. Didn't pop off, but it kind of got torn a little bit, and it looks like this bottle has been corked a bit. So, well, I'll just have to work around that as best as I can. But anyway, getting a hazy, kind of light amber color with you know, a bit of a head, a hazy yellow golden. Quite cloudy, quite opaque almost, and a little bit of carbonation. If you look closely at it, it's slow-moving carbonation, but it's just not bubbling up really quick. But there's definitely a lot of aroma. I noticed it in the bottle, and I'm noticing it in the glass now. Bring it right to the nose. I'm definitely getting plenty of, crisp malts. And maybe a bit of a clean yeast sensation. And there's kind of a tart sort of fruitiness going on, akin to what I might call like a pineapple, something a little sour. Definitely not a lemon zest, but more of a pineapple, something like that. That's got a bit of a tart, sour bite on the nose. Now let's give it a taste. A medium body, creamy, smooth, a comfortable body on the tongue. Seems to stay together for a moment or so before I swallow it. I like that. It doesn't turn into carbonation bubbles on my tongue. The taste is also, I'd say, kind of moderately bitter. Now, wooden, yeah, because of the barrel aging, you are getting a bit of that woody taste, I think. Woody, whether it's birchwood or not. Well, it must be birchwood because that's what they aged it in, the barrels they aged it in. Unfortunately, my palate is not trained enough to distinguish necessarily between the types of wood in barrels. It just comes with more practice, I suppose. More time sampling these kinds of beers that are aged in barrels. But anyway, you know, I'm getting a really, you know, a pleasantly sweet malty character and a kind of bitter hoppiness. When I was checking out the aroma, I got a real tart, sour, almost pineapple, you know, not lemon-like, but just a real sour, fruity citrus bite. It's there a little bit in the taste, but just not quite as noticeable as it seemed to me in the aroma. So you know, the taste is bringing out more flavoring thanks to the malts and the yeast and the hops that are used to brew this beer. And so that sort of makes the citrus sensation a bit more subtle, a bit more mellow, a bit more laid back. They call it Dilemma Ale. And I'm in a dilemma trying to figure out exactly how to compare it to something. I mean, it definitely has the kinds of quality that you get out of a lot of Belgian-inspired ales and beers. It just has that, you know, candied, yeasty flavor that's so predominant in these types of ales and beers. But and I really like the body. It's a comfortable body, as I mentioned already. The taste, though, is much more. You're bringing out some, you know, noted maltiness and a good hop character, but not an earthy or a piney kind of hop. It's more of a real bitter hop that just lingers and tingles the back of my tongue, and really just kind of stays in there for the ride as you're swallowing the beer. So, anyway, I didn't read the description, but they did say this is a golden colored Belgian style ale, was selected specifically for this barrel. The flavors and aromas are subtle, nuanced, and crisp. And you know, that's kind of what I got, and I didn't even read that before I drank that. So, I guess I'm getting closer in my understanding of the variations in beer. But anyway, not a bad beer at all. Another winner from White Birch. This one is the White Birch Barrel Aged Cooper's Dilemma Ale. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you like my new camera. I do. Thanks for stopping by. I'll catch you again next time.